Look, I'll get to the dysfunctionality of the Andrews government in Victoria shortly. Thank you for your letters on that. And we won't be ignoring the nonsense in Queensland, but the current gold medal for incompetence must rest with the New South Wales government. Endless hours and waste of taxpayers' money has been spent on the Barilaro affair. Appointed Barilaro to a trade role in New York. Eminently suitable, widely experienced, a tremendous ability to personally engage. Barilaro has been a small businessman. He was in the vanguard of the argument for nuclear energy, which makes him full bottle on the biggest crisis facing both our countries, Australia and America, energy. And as you know, we have a phenomenal energy export capacity. But we have the upper house in the New South Wales Parliament turning itself inside out at your expense to find that something crooked and corrupt had occurred to enable Barilaro to get the job. And they found nothing. But they've made the running, and the Premier Perrottet has been bringing up the rear in a cloud of dust. Can't see the forest through his trees. So Premier Perrottet now has this report by former Public Service Commissioner Graham Head, and it reveals nothing. The Premier said, mistakes happen from time to time. But Perrottet at no time has stood his ground to argue that the so-called litany of mistakes over the Barilaro appointment was nothing more than a political invention, a determination to destroy his government. Perrottet admitted yesterday there was nothing in the report suggesting Barilaro had done anything wrong. And he, quote, acknowledged the distress that this has caused many people. So Barilaro's done nothing wrong, but it was a flawed process. No details about that. But Barilaro's lost his job. What are we talking about here? In the middle of all this, the former Trade Minister, Stuart Ayres, one of the few people in the New South Wales government with real ability, was forced to resign over his alleged role in the so-called Barilaro affair. But hang on. Ayres was forced to resign because Perrottet had seen at that time parts of this report that, quote, raise a question as to whether Mr Ayres has complied with the Ministerial Code of Conduct, unquote. As I said at the time, this stretches the credibility of the ordinary person, doesn't pass the pub test. Raises a question? Shouldn't Mr Ayres have kept his job until the question was answered? But in that press release of August 3, Premier Perrottet ended by saying, a further review will therefore be undertaken to determine if Mr Ayres has complied with the code, unquote. So the bloke lost his job, his deputy leadership, his ministerial role in critical portfolios because of a question over an unspecified breach of the Ministerial Code of Conduct, yet there's to be a review on whether he actually complied with the Code of Conduct headed by Bruce McClintock SC. But Ayres has lost his job, and he doesn't know why. Then, what about Petinos, the Minister for Small Business and Fair Trading? She's lost her job. We don't know why. I hope she knows why. Wink, wink, nod, nod, bullying. What I do know is that she clashed with this former building commissioner, David Chandler, who resigned. And there would not be a person in the building industry who didn't clash with the arrogant David Chandler. I think Petinos might have made it clear that she, not Chandler, was the minister. So Barilaro's done nothing wrong. He's lost his job. We don't know what Ayres has done, nor does he. But he's lost his job. The taxpayer doesn't know why Petinos has lost her job. I was at a meeting today. After lengthy discussion on several issues, a leading businessman in this country said out loud in relation to the New South Wales government, and I quote, I've never had to deal with such incompetence, unquote. Well, sadly, that incompetence is now there for everyone to see.